This is KVUE News at 5.
Investigations reopened. Tonight, more parents coming forward claiming AISD did not fully investigate claims of sexual assault. What the district police chief has to say about those cases.
Good afternoon, I'm Terry Gruca.
And I'm Mike Rush. Austin School District Police today are reviewing their handling of a total of 3 sex crimes allegations on separate campuses.
The move comes after parents allege investigators closed those cases without properly investigating them. KVUE Defender and Austin American-Statesman reporter Tony Pohetsky broke this new development today. He is here now with the latest. Pretty disturbing.
And Mike and Terry, the police chief is saying that they are undertaking this review because they want to make sure that if there are lapses, that they are handled. Now, that is an incident that we first told you about last week, but the chief is saying a review so far of another case shows police did do a thorough investigation. Here is a look at the 3 cases now. The most recent report happened in February. That's the one at Boone Elementary. Police closed the case without formally consulting with prosecutors or obtaining medical records for a 4-year-old girl. Those records show she had injuries consistent with a sexual assault. Investigators reopened that case last week. The second case dates back to March 2015. A Lanier High School student says a fellow student assaulted her in a bathroom. Police suspended their investigation. We don't know why, but the girl's parents say she was fully cooperative with detectives and identified the suspected perpetrator. And then there is this case. It's even older, dating back to 2014 at Hart Elementary. The mother accuses police of dropping that investigation too soon, but AISD Police Chief Eric Mendez said investigators pulled video from the school and that it does not support her son's outcry that a staff member assaulted him. Attorney Paul Gwynn represents all 3 parents.
We entrust the district with the safety of our children, mine included, and to hear these stories keep reappearing and reappearing is heartbreaking to me. And
Chief Mendez does tell me that he and the department have undertaken these reviews because they want parents and the community to be confident in their work. And Mike and Terry, of course, the bigger issue is that if there are perpetrators out there, the police want to make sure that they're being held accountable and brought to justice.
Okay. We'll keep following it up. Thanks so much, Tony.
You bet.
Austin school officials will hold a meeting to discuss the alleged assault on a 4-year-old girl that apparently happened at Boone Elementary. Austin school officials say they will meet with any parent who has questions about the incident, and that takes place in the school's cafeteria tonight from 6 to 7.
Now to the 85th Texas Legislature. The House of Representatives took its final vote approving SB 4 requiring all law enforcement honor ICE detainers. KVUE political reporter Ashley Godot was live at the Capitol. And Ashley, what's the next step here?
Well, Mike, there are some differences between the version the House passed compared to what the Senate passed, so the Bennett bill will head to conference to hash out the differences.
Being 94 ayes and 53 nays, SB 4 is finally passed.
SB 4 passed on a final reading with a party line vote of 94 to 53, but there were some last-ditch efforts to stop it. Representative Roberto Alonzo tried to pass an amendment to stop the bill from going into effect until the Supreme Court rules on it, because several organizations and representatives have made it clear there will be lawsuits filed against the state if this bill becomes law. That amendment failed, so lawmakers tried to appeal to their colleagues' emotions.
It's been very hard for me to look at any of you because I'm filled with a lot of sadness and I want to be candid with you, a lot of anger. The message that we are sending from this body, we are sending it loud and clear today, is that once your work is done, you and your families had better stay in the shadows. Because don't forget this, we the powerful are telling you we will pick you up. We value your work during the day, but at night you better be scared because we will pick you up.
Lawmakers debated SB 4 from 11 o'clock yesterday morning until well after 3 o'clock this morning. The most controversial amendment passed makes the House version similar to the Senate's, allowing officers to ask someone about their immigration status if they're detained instead of arrested. Opponents call that the Show Me Your Papers amendment. It's what they fear will lead to racial profiling. Live at the Capitol, Ashley Goodo, KVUE News.
And the Austin Police Department also had a lot to say about the final passage of SB 4, mainly that it will negatively impact their relationship with the immigrant community.
All it could do is stand to create a wedge between police departments and their communities if it is seen that we are an arm of immigration enforcement. I think that we will create situations where the trust we've worked so hard to build can be eroded.
Interim Chief Brian Manley says APD will continue to cooperate with federal immigration officials. Meanwhile, he stresses the department remains focused on keeping Austin's immigrant community safe.
University of Texas police are investigating after a person fired shots from a vehicle earlier this morning. Police received that report around 10:20. It happened around the Dean Keaton San Jacinto area. Police say the intended target was known by the suspect. UTPD says there is no threat to the public. They say the shooter was driving a white sedan with a rear spoiler. Austin police are now assisting in that investigation. And the search continues this afternoon for the missing Austin police officer. Officials near the border are still searching for him after his car was found at Lake Amistad. That is in Valverde County, and the lake literally runs along the U.S.-Mexico border. Austin police were first told that the officer was in emotional distress Tuesday. That's when family and fellow officers realized they could not find him.
New at 5, San Marcos police want to know if you know the name of somebody that they're looking for. Police say the woman on your screen there was involved in an argument at the Mark Club on March 30th. Officers say she threw another woman to the ground and hit her head against the concrete several times. She's described as white or Hispanic. She has dark hair, wore prescription glasses, dark shorts, and a Spurs jersey at the time. Call San Marcos Police if you have any information. That number is on your screen.
The Trump administration released a tax plan calling for one of the biggest tax cuts in history.
This is about creating economic effects in tax cuts for the middle class. It's also about creating tax simplification so that most Americans will be able to fill out their tax returns on a giant postcard.
The outline of the proposal calls for big corporate tax cuts and fewer income brackets for individuals. It would also eliminate the estate tax and double the standard deduction. The Democrats claim the Trump plan would hit hardworking families and benefit the wealthy.
This tax outline is a wish list for billionaires. Trickle down all over again.
White House officials provided no details on how they would offset the massive tax cuts, which could potentially add trillions of dollars to the nation's debt.
Meanwhile, President Trump has promised to restore jobs for coal miners, and now some West Virginians are looking up to the sun. Some coal miners are taking advantage of an opportunity to train in green energy jobs, installing solar panels. Trainees say the pay in coal is generally better than solar, but a steep decline in coal jobs has them searching for alternatives. The crew says they're booked on projects every week, and they could double or triple their numbers and still barely be able to keep up with the demand.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, still ahead, it was a historic moment for the Boy Scouts of America that now another group may benefit from.
Plus, how one man is doing our job while appealing to a different audience.
You're watching KVUE, where trust is earned.